Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome to another wonderful live stream. We're here at Wali Wonders. We're here at Sophist Productions with another beautiful live stream. And today we're coming on from a new channel. It's still the same name, but now we're coming live from Wali Wonder Clips. So So yes. How's everybody? And today is going to be a special live stream because today we're going to talk about the latest reveals by the Handala hackers, who are a Palestinian activist hacker group, but they are claiming that they have released photos. They have sensitive data on Kash Patel himself. And who is this guy, Kash Patel? The same Kash Patel who was responsible for hiding Charlie Kirk's stuff. He didn't let the investigation go through. And there's like some serious damning evidence that we have. And I mean, the hacker groups have confirmed that they have more information. They released information on the American people who were working for Lockheed Martin in Israel, and they released it a day before. And just today, now we have photos of Mr. Kash Patel, the guy who used to use his girlfriend, who uses SWAT teams to impress his girlfriend. And a lot of people also say that her girlfriend is like a honeypot trap. She's like an agent as well. So, to break all this down, and what about the fuel prices, guys? There's no fuel in Australia. People in India are slapping the shit out of each other because there's no fuel, and there's like lines and lines and queues in front of the petrol stations with hundreds and hundreds of bikes at a time. And what about the situation that is happening in Bahrain? Today I was just thinking about the new name for Bahrain. It's actually got Iran in it. What if you make it Iran and say Bahrain? Because Iran says that Bahrain should be a part of Iran and Kuwait should be a part of Iraq, and Saudi Arabia can take Qatar for themselves. So there's like a new global thingy that is happening. And please, for everyone who's watching, please do like, share, and subscribe, as this is a free way to promote our live streams. And hope everyone's having a good time. If you guys have any questions, anyone who is watching this live stream can ask us any questions, and we're surely going to answer whatever uh, you want to ask. So let's just watch the first video on the topic, and let's see what's happening with Kash Patel.
About FBI Director Kash Patel that could spell the end of his tenure as the FBI director, who is clearly always in over his head. A 115-page report put together by FBI officials details how the FBI is completely rudderless, that's their quote, completely rudderless, and all effed up under Kash Patel's leadership. Honestly, this only vindicates what we've been saying on this channel. It confirms our deepest suspicions about Kash Patel being rather arrogant, in over his head, maybe not technically like an evil person, but he's somebody who's always walking around with these big wide eyes, like he's hoping nobody asks him what the hell is going on, even though he's the person in charge. There is also this report of Kash Patel basically throwing a tantrum while he was on the ground investigating Charlie Kirk's death. After Charlie Kirk was killed, he flew to Utah Valley University and he threw a fit over the clothes that he was wearing. We're going to get to all of this in just 1 second. But before we do, make sure you're subscribed to the Adam
So
Holidays
apparently,
and beyond.
Kash Patel at Charlie's, when he was going to Charlie's funeral, he refused to get off the plane because he wanted to look all tough, wearing a SWAT vest or some jacket, some bulletproof jacket, because he wanted to look tough in front of the camera. So there was apparently no jacket in the plane. So they had to take a jacket off from a female and give it to Mr. Kash Patel. So just so that he can show off. So let's see the video.
Valley University, and he threw a fit over the clothes that he was wearing. We're going to get to all of this in just one second.
Sorry.
Before we do, Director Kash Patel has one, prematurely announced the FBI thwarted a potential terror attack, allowing the suspect to flee. This happened a few months ago. We covered this. Two, falsely claimed Charlie Kirk's suspected killer was in custody when he wasn't. He actually did this 2 times with 2 separate people saying, we have the killer, he's in custody. And then he had to walk back that statement and retract it. He is over-indexing on social media announcements, so much so that it is hurting his ability to conduct his job as the FBI director. He then says, announced full-forced manhunt for National Guard attacker when the murderer was in custody. So he did the same, he reversed his Charlie Kirk mistake. When the killer was actually in custody this time, he said that there was a full-force manhunt. They were going to expel all resources.
So, as you're listening,
Kash Patel is
this guy explaining us. So, there's actually a lot of stuff that is going on with Kash Patel hiding stuff that was should have been released to the public about Charlie Kirk's assassination, and the investigation is a whole mess. Recently, a guy who resigned from the U.S. Government, he was talking about how he knew about the Israeli donors and everyone who was involved and everyone who was threatening Charlie Kirk in his final days. And the government just shut it down because there was some bureaucracy involved. They wanted to give the case to the state, and the FBI was involved, and the CIA was involved. So they eventually thought, why not just stop the investigation from happening at all? So this Kash Patel guy, I mean, we don't have any incriminating evidence right now, at least not the public, but the Iranian hacktivist group might have a lot of damning evidence on Kash Patel that might be released in your cinemas real soon. This summer, it's going to be a blockbuster. How this guy Kash Patel, who used to say so good, so beautiful words about how he was going to change America, how he's going to be the best director of FBI, how he's going to release the Epstein files and stuff like that. But now we also know that there's some evidence that Kash, when there was no one who was arrested for Charlie Kirk's murder, he announced like 2 times that there was actually people who were captured, and the FBI had those people under investigation, under arrest. And he said that 2 times while there was no one under arrest for his murder. And as soon as they arrested this guy for Charlie Kirk's murder, he went and he lied again, because this guy, Kash Patel, he is like a narcissistic liar, and you can't like really handle these guys. So then in another post that we have over here, in response to earlier reporting about the use of a government plane, an FBI spokesperson told the Wall Street Journal that Mr. Patel had taken about a dozen personal trips since becoming the director. By comparison, during a 4-year period, Mr. Mueller, who was known for his grinding work ethic, took 10 flights out of nearly 300 that required reimbursements. So that's according to a 2013 report. And in late August, Mr. Patel flew on a government jet from Washington area to airport in somewhere Scotland, and the destination was an exclusive golf resort. And for a getaway with a friend, including former Navy SEALs, along with people he had met as public defender in travels overseas earlier in his career, Miss Wilkins did not attend. So And then there's reports that this guy, Kash Patel, uh, he, so the Alpha 99 said that after his plane landed, FBI Director Kash Patel would not disembark from the plane without an FBI raid jacket. So
He's
Alpha
going to
99 went
optically,
on to
I don't
say,
know, optically maximize.
sorry, to say many FBI special agents and other FBI workers were busy working on the aftermath of assassination of Charlie Kirk, and that FBI personnel had to stop and ask around and find an FBI raid jacket, a medium-sized one that would fit FBI Director Kash Patel, or he wouldn't leave his airplane. So that's who we're talking about, Mr. Kash Patel. And then do you hear about him using the SAW team to impress his girlfriend? So do we want to look at Kash Patel's other videos? Let's just
number one
see
ally
who
in
Kash
Israel.
Patel is.
We need America to wake up and prioritize Israel, bring home Israelis, and make sure we stand by our number one ally in Israel.
Good
morning.
This
We
is
need
such
America
a joke. So he has his priorities straight. That's for sure. He
Wake up
has
and
his
prioritize
allegiance
Israel.
to the Epstein class. So let's just watch another video that is
This is
going
just
viral.
coming out. FBI Director Kash Patel has had his personal accounts leaked by the Iranian hacking group Handala. They've posted these different photos of him, as well as his resume and emails. They just posted this online. Today, once again, the world witnessed the collapse of America's so-called security legends. While the FBI proudly seized our domains and immediately announced a $10 million reward for the heads of the Handala hack members, we decided to respond to this ridiculous show in a way that will be remembered forever. Kash Patel, the current head of the FBI, who once saw his name displayed with pride on the agency's headquarters, will now find his name among the list of successfully hacked victims. The so-called impenetrable systems of the FBI were brought to their knees within hours by our team. All personal and confidential information of Kash Patel, including emails, conversations, documents, and even classified files, is now available for public download. This is the security that the US government boasts about. This is the cyber giant that thinks threats and bribes can silence the voice of the resistance. To the whole world, we declare the FBI is just a name, and behind this name, there is no real security. If your director can be compromised this easily, what do you expect from your lower level employees? Keep in mind, a while back, they also hacked the phone of the former Prime Minister of Israel, Ehud Barak. This is him in Jeffrey Epstein's Manhattan apartment. I'll be going through all of the emails. You kind of have to extract.
So yeah, this says about a lot about U.S. cybersecurity. They hacked his phone. They have compromising evidence against Kash Patel. I don't know. If I was Kash Patel, I would be freaking out right now because this is like insane. There's a saying, please delete my browsing history before I die. So Kash Patel couldn't delete his browsing history as he was going down as the worst FBI director in the whole wide world. And now even the FBI are going through Kash Patel's dirty laundry just to find out what the heck he was talking to all these people over the years, because everything is now compromised. And so much for lying to the general
them.
public.
Follow me if you want to find out more.
The truth has its ways to come out. And I don't know why some people in the United States government think that they are impenetrable, they're above the law, they're like gods walking with mere mortals, and they just can do anything and get away with it. But sadly, the computers that they're using, the phones that they're using, are not that reliable. We know that there's some intelligent Palestinian and Iranian hackers sitting, waiting for these guys to make a wrong move. And look at this, guys. This is Kash Patel's girlfriend. And some people say that she's like an agent as well, and she's like a honeypot for Kash Patel. And to impress this young, fine lady, Kash Patel actually gave her security by a whole SWAT team. So, I mean, she's pretty. She needs to be protected, but not protected like that. So, let's go and watch another video. So, this is a guy that I really admire, and
I
let's
had
watch the video.
friends in the U.S. Embassy in Belize. I knew what was coming down. I'm not stupid. I had arranged with the head of security. I was going to come in. He said, "Sir, we have it from the highest authority. We are not to allow you entry into the U.S. Embassy." Understand me. Who was the highest authority of the State Department? Hillary Clinton. I'm an American citizen with a American passport. I'm sorry. I'm not wanted in America. I've got no crimes in America. Is it not a reason to say, I don't think I'm going to vote for you?
And yet you're here now.
For a month and a half, I was on the run. The reason that the government wanted to collect me was that after they had raided my property in 2012 in the jungle, shot my dog, abused me, destroyed $500,000 worth of my property over a bogus charge, I was pissed off. And so I donated to many secretaries within the government laptop computers, really nice ones that were preloaded with viral spyware. Within a week, the entire government computer system was under my control. I was watching, monitoring, listening. I was looking for information that they had set me up for that raid. I didn't find that. I did find out that the Minister of National Defense was the largest drug trafficker in all of Central America. And the Minister of Immigration, the largest human trafficker.
Well, we don't want to get killed by them either, so we're probably not going to.
That's fine, that's fine.
So you just heard from this guy. I mean, this guy's a legend because John McAfee, the creator of the McAfee antivirus, the infamous McAfee antivirus that we all used to hate when we were young children. And this guy was an absolute G. He was a billionaire. He was on the run from the government. And the government decides to raid his house. And what does McAfee do? He delivers like good laptops to government officials, and within like 2-3 days, he is in the United States government's internal data. And he finds out that the government is responsible for the largest narco drug trafficking. And he also finds out that the government is also like the biggest maker of this pedophilia ring of sex trafficking little children. So the balls with this guy, of course, he got killed. They killed him like, I don't know, it's like a big conspiracy. Someday we'll talk about his death as well. And if John McAfee can hack the US government just by simply giving a few laptops. So, hey, Americans, if you need like a new graphic cards, a new 5090 laptop with like 100 GBs of RAM and a lot of cores, we're sure to give you some. We'll give them for you for free. And for sure, McAfee was such a legend. And how is he saying that he hacked the US government on live TV? Because, of course, he had some incriminating evidence against them. He found out about the sex trafficking ring because America is the land of pedophilia. It's the land where like 1 out of 6 children have been molested by their own family, some family relative. So, and there's like thousands and thousands of children who are missing. So, America is the ultimate land of pedophilia. So he discovered that out. He had some evidence against the government as well as he had evidence of narco trafficking. And we all know that. We all know that CIA might be the biggest narco trafficker. They're involved in all the cartels, even in the Mexican cartels and in the cartels over in South Asia. And everywhere these guys go, they are like, I don't know. So there's a few people in the chat. There is Zero Life, and he's saying nice. And there's Nomanjat, and he's saying hello. And Beast Arena 2 is saying nice. So thank you guys, all of you who are here. And please do like, share, and subscribe because it's like a free way to promote whatever
I went on the run
we're
in
saying.
Belize.
So
I had friends in the U.S. Embassy in Belize. I knew what was coming.
See the guy behind me? That's Kash Patel,
Video.
the
Fazan video.
See the guy behind me? That's Kash Patel, the boss of the FBI. Yes, the Federal Bureau of Investigations. And this man was officially hacked by the Iranian hacker group called Handala. And the funny thing is that the boss of the FBI was hacked. His emails are out there, all his personal pictures are out there, and this is the chief of the FBI.
This guy's a funny guy. So I'm just saying,
See
if
the guy behind-
McAfee could hack the U.S. government, why can't the Palestinian activist groups? I mean, they might have like a few budget to buy a few laptops and give them away to U.S. officials, and guys, all the NSA and all these governments, especially the Israeli Mossad, have been spying on all the people all around the world. They already have all our data. Not just the government, even Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, all these, YouTube has been spying on you, and they have data on you. Real incriminating evidence against all of us. And the point is that you think it's not that simple to get the data of these FBI directors. You think that they are so impenetrable, they don't use these social media platforms, or they don't have, they're not normal human beings. Of course, these are the dumbest people in the whole wide world, and hacking them would be like stealing candy from a baby. So let's watch a few more videos. And I want to talk about what's happening with Dubai, because first it was the bombs, and now it's the weather conditions. There's like a flood going on over there. God bless them.
Disposable income with lots of kids. So you do
Let's watch this video.
Some of these bunkers are bigger than the houses that you and I grew up in, but you've got a bunker, and that it doesn't surprise me to hear that. What kind of bunker are you building out there? A very simple bunker, Brian. I thank Griff for the shout out. I don't have billions of dollars to build a bunker. Like most people, not a lot of disposable income with lots of kids. So you do what you can. The house we bought came with like a cellar bunker, tornado shelter type thing. So we're trying to modify it to be prepared. But all I'm really trying to be prepared for, Brian, is a grid down situation. I don't know if the zombie apocalypse is coming. I don't know if war is coming. I don't know what's coming. All I know is that when the power goes out, whether you're in Tennessee or New York City, life changes. Within 48 hours, the whole world's different. Within 96 hours, we can't even predict what the world would look like, what our society would look like. So where are you going to get food? Where are you going to get water? Where are you going to get power? How are you going to get off the island of Manhattan if you want to get off? Or how are you going to go get to your family and friends? Do you have gasoline? Like, to me, it's more just a mindset of having the essentials for 5, 6, 7 days. And then if the grid's really down, well, then maybe only the billionaires survive at that point.
It's funny, growing up, my grandparents had a bomb shelter, and it was really fun to play in it. I never knew that it would be like a serious thing that we'd actually be talking about.
That's them telling you without telling you. Are you not?
So yeah, that's like a real food for thought. What happens if there's no petrol in the whole wide world? And we know that is coming. We already see that the gas prices are going up, and there is a lot of places in the world, especially we're looking at footages from Australia. These truck drivers have been driving like 500 miles, and they go to countless gas stations to fill up their tanks, and there's no diesel in all of Australia. So really, even if you're like sitting in Manhattan, or even if you're sitting in Sydney and you are at the top of your penthouse and there's no electricity, no Wi-Fi, imagine how the world would change if there was no internet for like 24 hours. People would would appear like rising from the dead. The zombie apocalypse would arise. So that is like a real food for thought. And I'll just show you a lot of videos about these petrol shortages. But the point still remains, what will you guys do? And that's a question as well. If there was no petrol, because after like 24 hours of being no petrol, no electricity, yeah, you can have like solar panels, but sorry, Europeans, you don't have any sun at all, and maybe the Americans have their own petrol. But like things can go drastically wrong in like just 24 to 48 hours, because when people realize what's really happening, they're going to freak out, the whole society is going to collapse. And that is where you need a community, you need some people who you can trust, because the only way you can survive in such a situation is if you're underground deep beneath like a bunker, and you're away from civilization. Or the other case is that you have a small community of people who are there to help protect you. Everyone has their own responsibilities. Someone is farming, someone is raising the cattle, someone is cooking the food. Just like a small little community helping each other. And someone has the guns as well to save all the rest of the people. So much about the war that has been devastating the whole region, and so much about ending Ayatollah and ending the Iranian regime and ending their 460 kilograms of nuclear material. Let's watch the video of what's happening. Can you see the video? Yeah. These are Iranian women and they seem pretty liberated while holding an AK-47.
بشین و نگاه کن چگونه خودت و اسرائیل را با خاک یکسان خواهیم کرد. پیشرفته ترین سلاح و پدافند ایران همین مردم هستند.
Women are out on the streets holding AK-47, chanting death to America. And earlier I was talking about what's happening in UAE. The Sheikhs, Habibi, come to Dubai. Now all of us are laughing at Dubai. They used to laugh at us, call us cheap Indians, cheap Pakistanis, cheap Bengalis. But first it was like 30 drones coming each day, hotels being blown up, and now there is a flood and there's a heavy storm in Dubai. But brought to you by Samosa was brought to you by Karma. So let's watch a few more videos. This is severe flooding caused by rainstorms in Sharjah, UAE. So I guess you guys might need like boats, not cars. People in Sharjah, if you need some boats, I will hand over some of our boats to you guys, because yeah, that is a lot of water. Yeah, we don't want Dubai anyways. Saudi can have it. The sheikhs are having a hell of a time. So this is another footage of what's happening. Divine punishment in Dubai for all the terrorist organizations that they were funding and all the people that they were supporting. So much for these sheikhs. What about their $1 million Ferraris? Where do they have? Have they flown their Ferraris out of Dubai as well? What about your Bugatti? What color is your Bugatti? Well, it don't matter if it's in 10 feet underwater. The color don't matter. So yeah. Well, I wish no harm to the people of UAE, and obviously there's a lot of Pakistanis over there as well, and there's a lot of it's a Muslim country, and honestly, we might have some differences with the administration, but really, we feel for the people of Dubai how much money they have lost in their real estate, and how the stock market is going down, how all the infrastructure is affected, and now the floods are really, really devastating. It's a sight that is hard to see. So, meanwhile, this is somewhere in Philippines. Philippines or where? Meanwhile, brought to you by Donald Trump. This is what is happening. People are running for fuel. And guys, I don't know. I have a feeling that this is all of us in the next 6 months, because there's a energy shortage, energy crisis, and the supply chains have been disrupted. And sooner or later, even Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock, just came out and he said that there are only two scenarios. The first scenario is that oil goes to $40. I don't know how that will happen. And the second scenario is that oil goes to $140, which means a global, worldwide recession. And that is just the start. If oil goes to 140 and you have like a global recession, you should be happy about that, because the alternative is no fuel at all, the total collapse of society, no energy infrastructure, and a one world government. Brought to you by BlackRock. And this is what Trump said.
We don't need it. We don't need it at all. We have so much oil. Our country is not affected by this.
Our country is not affected by this.
Gas prices are up after about $1 a gallon. The first time ever the U.S. Postal Service is imposing an 8% fuel surcharge on packages. This stems from the Iran war.
We're looking at a 20% potential increase in United Airlines airfares, but that would be all airfares. We've also got a diesel problem here. We've seen diesel prices jumping as well. So whether it's your grocery store, your airfare, whether it's your summer driving plans, everything is affected by energy, gasoline, diesel prices.
Damn. We don't need Strait of Hormuz. We don't need Strait of Hormuz. Sorry, guys. So, yeah, where were we?
Has been cut in half. And I know that we were going to talk about this a little more, but could India be the reason the global nitrogen world blows up farther?
Yeah. In fact, they are the single biggest thing that we are currently watching that could cause prices to go significantly higher than they already are. So they had been sitting fairly comfortable. They had done fairly well in this last purchase tender that I think they did back in February. They had looked for about 1.5 million ton. They locked up 1.3. And by all accounts, they looked like they were going to sit perfectly fine. But they've got problems. Obviously, of all the 1.3 million tons they bought, I think 830,000 tons of those were for West Coast port facilities. You've got to believe a lot of those tons are coming from Persian Gulf, Middle East manufacturers who probably can't follow through on their sales commitment. How are you supposed to deliver your product if the Strait of Hormuz is closed? So all of a sudden now they're losing those import expectations. That hurts supply. Number two, a lot of their gas comes from the Persian Gulf. It comes through the Strait of Hormuz. So if their LNG imports are slowing down, that's going to have an impact on their nitrogen production capabilities. We're hearing that their production levels are now down to about 50% of normal. That's another big shot to their supply, what they expected to see. And what's scariest about this whole thing, it's an election year in India. And when you look at it, historically speaking, the farmers look to the government and say, okay, you're in charge of having these fertilizer supplies in place. the government taps a company in order to do a
So you guys heard it first that there's going to be a fuel shortage as well as a nitrogen shortage because India is falling with the whole it's like a domino thingy. You just push one domino and everything starts falling down, falling down, falling down. No nitrogen, no fertilizers, no gas, no fuel, no nothing. The end of the world as we know. So yeah, what is this guy talking about?
The country in 14 months. The U.S. Treasury has now confirmed that the United States is insolvent. So in 14 months, he took a profitable country that was
So
standing on its
they're
own
now
2 feet
announcing
and made it so dependent
that the United
else,
States will go bankrupt in the next 14 months. Is it because of Donald Trump or is it not because of Donald Trump? What are they doing to their people? So apparently this woman was against going to war with Iran. And how are they treating her? This video just came out.
Hey, stay back. Get the fuck off me, cunt! Oh no! It goes coming to your family! You fucking better believe it, you cunt! Stop fighting me! I will fuck you up! You cunt, you motherfucker!
This is what they're doing to their own people. How can you throw a woman, grab her by the neck and throw her and then pepper spray her while she's on the ground?
So just in case you guys missed it.
I mean, did you guys miss it? And if the situation wasn't worse, now we're hearing that Israel has attacked some Russian assets in the sea. So there's this route from which Russia is supplying aid and also military equipment. And Israel had the balls to bomb that place, and they destroyed a lot of equipment. God knows how many people they killed. And now Russia is pissed off. So why aren't we trying to prevent a World War III, guys? Why does Israel have to drag the whole world into a situation where we all think that these guys deserve the promised land?
Quite vague. Some breaking news. Israel just bombed Russia and they've blown up a Russian supply line to Iran. And this supply line carries Russian oil, Russian weapons, etc. And Israel just blew them up. And Russia is preparing to go to war over this. Well, today, Israel has carried out their first attack onto the Caspian Sea. And according to reports, Israel, quote, targeted a supply corridor used by Russia to transport drones, ammunition, and other military equipment to Iran. Now, it is worth knowing that Russia is one of the biggest military equipment suppliers to Iran, and vice versa. Iran supplies Russia with their famous Shahed drones, and in return, Russia gives Iran helicopters and missiles and things like that. Well, Russia and Iran both border the Caspian Sea, and rather than sending this equipment by land, they send it through the sea, through a 600-mile long corridor. Russia also has pipelines as part of this supply corridor, and so Israel might have bombed them too. Currently, we don't actually know whether Israel bombed ships which were transporting equipment or whether they bombed these pipelines. The reports are quite vague. All we know is that Israel bombed one of them, or maybe both of them. However, because of how this is, because Israel has bombed Russian equipment, it suggests that the war might go on for longer. Specifically, in just the last day, Polymarket has predicted that the chance the war with Iran will end by the end of this month has dropped from 18% yesterday to 13% today. And that's because Russia has now been attacked in this war, making it far more likely that Russia will supply more and more equipment and intelligence to Iran to help them fight against Israel, meaning the war will go on for longer. Now, Russia has not officially issued a statement on this yet, even though their own equipment and transport corridor has been blown up. And so it's likely they will, and they'll probably officially just call for peace, as they normally do. But behind the scenes, they're going to be quite mad. A lot happens behind the scenes that we don't hear about. And so, leave me a follow, because once we find out more, I'm going to keep you up to date on all of the global news, especially if Russia can...
much for global peace. You just heard that, guys. Israel has bombed Russia now. And that is going to be like the biggest freaking devastation of the whole century, because now Russia might bomb Israel in retaliation. And remember that Iran is already running out of targets to strike in Israel because they have been destroying. There's been like 80, 90 waves of drones and bombs, hypersonic missiles, cluster missiles that have been hitting Israel day in and day out. And now this talks about attacking the desalination plants. This talk about because remember Bahrain and Qatar and these GCC Gulf states, they all rely on desalination plants, and they can just bomb the desalination plants and the whole Gulf would just starve. Is it, what do you call when you don't have any water? Will Karbala to hell because there's going to be no water. And at the end, even the Jews will agree that Israel is the true nation. And
one thing I want to address, because a lot of people.
So much for that. And now the Paris branch of the Rothschild Bank has been raided by Paris police due to suspicions of alleged bribery of a former employee and associates of Jeffrey Epstein. It seems likely all the associates, all other countries are going after Epstein associates and not just America. And America is not pursuing this case because they're protecting the Epstein class. And even France now agrees that this is like a big allegation, the sex trafficking charges of minors. And who was the front man? Jeffrey Epstein was the front man for the Rockefeller Bank. And I mean, the guy is dead. His trafficking network might be over, but where was he getting the money from? Who was he transferring the money to? How could he sustain such a luxurious lifestyle? So, where did the models come from? Who was supplying him with the models? Why was all the Hollywood traveling on Jeffrey Epstein's Lolita Express? Why was everybody at Jeffrey Epstein's private island killing the babies and raping the babies? So, yeah. So, I mean, let's just watch the
and
video
an associate
and
of
then
Epstein.
I'll
So stay
explain
tuned for
it.
updates. The Paris headquarters of the Rothschild Bank has officially been raided by French police as a part of the Epstein investigation. According to police, this is part of an investigation of alleged bribery of a former employee at the bank and an associate of Epstein. So stay tuned for updates.
So yeah, they just raided the Rothschild Bank, and I guess it's gonna be a messy one. So let's just go on and watch a few more things that are interesting that I got out for you guys. So this is a video of the Iranian president walking in a superstore talking to normal people. And they were saying that he was dead or he was hiding. These guys, they've really shown the world that they're free. I mean, there is a bigger cause than each of us, and these people are fighting for the bigger cause. They're fighting to stop the genocide that has been happening. So, Trump said that the entire leadership of Iran is finished. We have no one to talk to. And the Iranian president is roaming in public, visiting general stores to stand with his people in the time of crisis. So, if America and Washington, D.C. was getting bombed, I think Donald Trump might be the first person. Why don't you send Baron Trump. He's the right age to fight a war. He's like 7 feet tall. I guess he could take a few Iranians down, Mr. Donald Trump. But sadly, that's not the case. So, um, there's been reports of. Thank you, Iran, for making 7 billion people in the world feel safe. So, all these captions that I'm seeing on the destruction, all the messages that are going on the social media, people are like thanking the Iranian people to finally end this evil Zionist regime that has taken over the whole media. Just 1 second. Where's media? So there's some footage. Oh yes. So what's been happening in Bahrain, people, ladies and gentlemen? There's angry protesters by Bahrain. Angry protesters by Bahrain demanding the overthrow of monarchy. The Bahrainian regime has arrested, tortured, abused, and killed some young people, some of its own young people. And this is a video. It's a blurred video. Hamad is like the guy, the leader, and they're like, fuck you, guy. So there's a revolution going on. And what is Iran saying? Iran says that these guys have like a small, teeny tiny military. Maybe they have like a few hundred people who are serving in the Navy, a few hundred people who are serving in the Air Force, and like 400 or 500 people who are the actual defense forces. Iran says even our smallest brigade could like overthrow the whole Bahrainian regime. Because remember that these guys were chosen by the British and they're protected by the American. So much for these Dubai sheikhs who have been countlessly killing and depriving their fellow Muslims by funding all sorts of evil terrorist organizations like ISIS, Al-Qaeda. I mean, they've been destroying their own brothers, their own Islamic countries. They're responsible of like mass killings, genocide, famine, you name it. And this was the best video I saw. So they're talking about taking the Krang Island. What is the name of the island? So they want to take the island and they're bombing the island, but the girl, there's a little girl who's still taking her swing and she's saying, fuck you, America, fuck you. Bombs going on the island and children are swinging their swings because they don't fear death. They don't fear the Zionist class. Because remember, the whole world is addicted to this illusion of money. And as soon as you let go of these personal possessions that you have, then you realize that the purpose of life is much more than protecting an Epstein class that is going to rule the whole world. And this is not just Iranian people who are showing defiance. It's also, and there's mass bombings going on in Lebanon as well. So you see the situation that even though Iran and Israel are in a conflict, and Israel has dragged United States of America 2 times in the last 9 months in a war with Iran, and they might be even losing this war, or they might not even know what to do next. But Israel has the balls and has the time to do another mass genocide in Lebanon. There's like 70 million people in Lebanon, or 50 million, and like a lot of them, around like 10 million, are displaced right now. They don't have a house to go to. and they're attacking Lebanon as well. They're destroying their buildings. They're attacking civilian infrastructures, and Hezbollah has returned. What Netanyahu used to say about Hezbollah and the rise and the power of Hezbollah had been defeated. There was no longer Hezbollah. They had killed every leader. They had bombed the cities, flattened Gaza, and now see the power of Hezbollah. They're like doing a military parade in the middle of Gaza. And they're there. Some reports say that they bombed 21 Israeli tanks in just the last 24 hours. And each of these Israeli tanks cost like $6 million. And the bomb, the missile that they are bombing these tanks with just costs $1,000. So much for corruption, so much for the military industrial complex that has indebted the whole entire world, and so much for the incompetence that they. I mean, the Tomahawk missiles, are they even useful? And the Scott Ritter was saying that the THAAD and the Patriot missile system wasn't that good to start with. So if it wasn't that good to start with, it's not a problem if it's destroyed, because at least now they know that it really doesn't work. First, they were in this dystopian feeling that maybe we have like an Iron Dome, and there's like a two-front war. Now, Hezbollah is attacking Israel from one side, and Iran is attacking Israel from the other side, and they're sandwiched between taking mass casualties. There's news of Israeli soldiers being lifted by helicopters continuously because there are so many dead bodies, and it's like a real devastation. Some people say Iran might even run out of targets to hit because they've hit the whole of Tel Aviv, the whole of Jerusalem, 1,500 buildings almost. And you are seeing the devastation that is happening. I mean, where is this? This is USA. So, yes, guys, India. Oh,
Leo bhai. ये है आजकल का हिंदुस्तान.
ये है आजकल का हिंदुस्तान. Let's just watch the video for the guy. He's slapping the guy on the bike. He's slapping the other guy as well. People are slapping each other. There's no fuel, there's just slaps at the petrol pump in India. So the situation has gone dire. We just saw this footage of a Thai cargo ship being destroyed in the Strait of Hormuz. Because Trump doesn't want the Strait of Hormuz anymore. They don't want it anyway. They're the biggest oil producers. They produce 2 times more oil than Russia, 2 times more oil than Saudi Arabia. They don't need the Strait of Hormuz. So Iran can blow up the Thai ships. This is so-called Delhi, New Delhi, and these are the affluent areas. Are they standing for gas? Oh, cylinder. Modi ji with the cylinder. Oh my baby, these are long lines
So we
to
just
get
got
gas. I hope they're having food to eat, or maybe they might be eating raw food. And I showed you a video from Bahrain. This is like another video of the protests that are going on in Bahrain, also known as Iran. Iran. So, and protests going on in Israel, guys. Is there a regime change? Girls are swinging on their swings in islands that are being burned, bombed, while the Israeli people are trying to protest and overthrow their regime while they are being water cannoned. The biggest democracy. Guys, what do you think about this? I mean, this is quite a situation. And what about India? Bharat Mata ki. अफवाह है.
अरे यार कब तक सोते रहोगे? आजाद भारत में कब तक सोते रहोगे? तेल की समस्या, नोटबंदी की समस्या, कोरोना की समस्या कब तक लड़ते रहोगे? एक गरीब परिवार का कब तक लड़ते रहे? किसान की खेती का समय आ गया है, कब तक लड़ते रहोगे झूठी सरकार से? आवाज उठाओ, दम है तो बातों में आवाज उठाओ, लड़ो, अपने हक की लड़ाई लड़ो। ये लड़ुआ की सरकार है, कभी भी आपको चैन से सोने नहीं देगी।
So this is the Nelson Mandela of India, and he's giving his whole speech at a petrol station, and he's going to get freedom by doing his debate at the petrol station. Mr. Modi ji, where are you? So,
this week I issued an emergency order to allow immediate sales of E-15.
So apparently Trump is now giving his strategic E-15 fuel. It's worth $12 billion and he's giving it away. Not for free, obviously, but he's giving it away because there's no fuel. And he still doesn't want the Strait of Hormuz. So, Modi ji, Modi ji, Modi ji, Modi ji, Modi ji, Modi ji. Why don't they slap Modi ji one time? I think. And these are the chosen people. Oh,
Everybody
chosen
sitting,
people
yes.
on an airplane going to your guy Kash Patel, leaving their promised land. These were the Jews that are leaving the land that was promised to them, and they're going back to safety, to America. And salute to you guys. The airplane is filled with the tiny hats. So, what's happening? Something happened. Yeah. And they just bombed Iran's biggest steel factory. Apparently, I just got to know that Iran is a self-sufficient nation because Iran produces like 60% of steel that is used in the whole of Middle East. So that's a lot of steel, and that's a lot of engineering, and that's a lot of people. Because there was the steel industry in Pakistan, they still have the steel industry in Karachi that has not been operational for a long while, but that is because of a reason, because of the incompetence. But look at the Iranian people. This is something that I even thought
we are
was...
here in Isfahan. This is the largest steel company in Iran. Iran is the producer of 60% of the steel in the whole Middle East, and this is the largest company making steel in Iran. Right here, this complex has a total of 8 furnaces, so this is absolutely massive. Look at this, absolutely massive. So the interesting part is that Iran is completely self-sufficient. It is exporting extremely efficient, and well, they can compete, on the world stage when it comes to steel companies, steel industry.
So if you think Israel's winning,
So yeah.
Do you think bombing the biggest steel plant in Iran would help the tiny hats? Maybe, maybe. But if you can bomb the Iranian steel plant, so can Iran launch an attack on your military installations where hundreds of military personnel are dying each day? I don't know which wave is this. Might be. Oh my god. Dubai is falling down. Grand sock bar Dubai.
वो देखो भाई, ये सुबह में इस पलाई पे खड़ा था, ठीक है? देखो दुबई का नज़ारा हम छत से बना रहा हूँ, ठीक है? हाल चाल है, ठीक है? वो देखो भाई, ये सुबह में इस पलाई पे
सुबह में उस पलाई पे खड़ा हुआ था. Let me show you the पलाई.
खड़े हुए हैं. ये हम इसी पे वीडियो बनाया था.
People are standing on doors, wooden pieces, just to go by because there's so much water. Oh my baby.
खबर निकली कि
So yeah,
To negotiate
this is
now?
the thing that I wanted to show you.
First of all, no more nudes. Nukes. It's nukes, man, not nudes. I can't do this, man. I can't do it. I keep thinking of these files. Try again. Okay, I got this. Open the Strait of Hormuz, or I'm taking Epstein Island. It's the island of Karj.
Karj.
Karj, for God's sake. Okay. I'm taking out Karj. I'm taking out Epstein.
I'm taking out Epstein.
I can't do this, man. I can't do
this, man.
Are you?
The Iranian cartoons are the best. So massive protests against the Zionist regime, and critics say that Trump's the puppet state, and these are the protests that are going on. The protests are pretty big. A lot of people. Americans need to wake up and need to tell their government what is happening in the world.
Right. So you could argue that GCC is really the main pivot of the American empire, meaning that the GCC sold its oil in petrodollars, making the US dollar the global reserve currency. And then it would take its profits and then recycle it back into the American economy, mainly into the stock market, mainly into AI investment. And right now, most of the American economy is run on AI investment. So if the GCC were forced to withdraw its investments from America and focus more on its own national development and national defense, then America would suffer economically tremendously. The GCC long-term has a lot of issues. It doesn't really have a military defense strategy. It was too reliant on the Americans. So once the Americans leave the scene, and these GCC nations will have to either depend on Israel or Iran for protection. Maybe nations like Qatar and Oman will choose to side with the Iranians. Saudi Arabia, UAE will side with the Israelis. But the future for the GCC is not optimistic because remember, for the longest time, they were a mirage, meaning that they were not economically viable entities. They didn't have access to fresh water. They didn't have access to agriculture, and they didn't have that much human capital. They were entirely reliant on expatriates for expertise. And now that this mirage has shattered, these expatriates are going to go home, and they're going to have to spend a lot of resources on defense. And so long-term prospects for the GCC is very, very bad.
Oh my God.
So the message is
GCC is about to die. GCC is on its last legs. So I'll just show you the lines that are forming outside in Australia, because Australia is also
sky-high fuel prices.
$3.10 a litre. $3.10.
Sky-high fuel prices.
A national fuel rationing plan recommended.
There's a spiralling cost of...
Fuel companies are jacking up their fees.
Just imagine the farmer who's got to drive out into the paddock to feed the cows or put the cows on a truck to get to the market. What, is he still making money?
Bloody
is
mate.
he going to be able to plant his crops in the field? The miners who provide Australia with so much shit, are they going to be able to keep mining for long when their price of diesel's gone up triple? It's not so much the fuel, it's what the government's doing that's a fucking disgrace. They collect the tax, they collect the GST, they're happy to help out all around the world with aid packages and everything else, but yet when we're not going to be able to afford fucking meat and veggies at the local supermarket, when I can't even find diesel in the coming weeks to put the fuel in, it's going to be a disaster. My mechanics charge more to get to the site. You can't buy pipe. You can't get concrete. Crush rock's gone up. Tip site's gone up. Next, the government will be charging me more to pick up my bin, up my rates for it, but give me nothing. Call an emergency, whatever, so that we can have some relief come. $3.10 a litre. A month ago it was like $1.70, $1.80. I just don't think people are going to understand how much it's going to affect them. Every single thing is going to go up because it's all delivered by trucks or boats that run on diesel. Australia stops when the trucks stop. $3.10 a litre.
Australia stops when the truck stops. $3.10 for a gallon of gasoline, for a liter of gasoline. So, I mean, there's videos showing, let me show you, I guess they're in the beginning. Oh my God, what is happening in Dubai? People are actually going to petrol stations on their boats, their little kayaks. Damn, that's bad. What is happening in India? Indian man is worshipping gas cylinder after energy crisis. The gas cylinder is going to feed his family. He has to pray to the gas cylinder, please work. Modi ji,
Many of you think
this is your shameful acts that has bring your whole society to the brink of destruction. So, yeah, what is happening? Bengali is so loved by Israelis that he had to pull a gun on his own people. Why is this happening? It's okay, Walking around with a gun?
So I have no clue if this is actually true, but if it is, it's a pretty big deal. So Express News, no idea who this account is.
This was
EX
happening
News
like
HD,
a
it's
few
got about
days ago.
50,000,
There was
52,000,
like
no
sounds
community
of
note yet.
gunfire
So I have no clue
inside
if
the
this-
Saudi royal
so I have no
palace,
clue if this
and
is actually true, but if it is, it's a pretty big deal. So
I don't think that is really a true news. So yeah, we just wanted to. I'll wrap the live stream now. Let's just go and quickly watch the Australian situation that is happening. Do we have the videos? Do we? Yeah, this is the video.
Been driving for about 500 kilometres and not a drop of diesel anywhere. So this is a service station that's run completely out of diesel, and these trucks here are all waiting. And this is like this across South Australia and now Victoria.
South
Out of my
Australia and
hands.
Victoria are fucked. The guy drove like 500 kilometers to find no petrol for his diesel truck. So if there's no diesel trucks If there's no transportation, God be with you guys. And so much for the world. I mean, is the world going to be the same as it used to back in the days, even in 2025? I guess we're in for a surprise for 2026 because everything is crashing. The United States economy is crashing. The gold prices are crashing. Assets, people used to think that they had safe haven assets. They don't feel safe anymore. There's energy crisis already 1 month into the Iran-US war, which Israel probably dragged the United States of America in, and there's no chance that they're going to get to the 60 kilograms of enriched uranium that Iran has deep underground in kilometer-long mountain tunnels, which not even the Iranians really know about. And I mean, the world is like really fragile. The society, the whole economy, the whole infrastructure is really fragile. And it's really easy just to sit by the beach and lay some mines in the Strait of Hormuz and have a few drones hit a few ships to disrupt the whole world's supply chain system. And that is what is happening. And what do you think your future is going to be, guys? Is it going to be like a goody-goody situation? Because I really do think that it's not going to be that good of a situation. So, guys, we discussed a lot of things today, and it's been like an hour, more than an hour, I guess. And thank you to everyone who has been watching. Please do like, share, and subscribe. And I'll be back really soon with another interesting live stream on the same topic. We're going to talk about the US-Iran war because there's like a 12% chance that it's going to stop in a month because it's going to go for the end of eternity. So with that, see you guys later. Thank you all for being in this live stream. Hope all of you are great. बड़ा मीटर ऊपर जा रहा था हमारा